So I'm also getting the same error. We'll show you guys. We'll show you the model, hide the controls. So it is that visual array. So yesterday I uploaded the PDF regarding that Jenkins. So guys, and did you guys so reading this material, AWS material? You guys, what we are discussing about yesterday? Hello, guys are able to hear? Joshna, all are mute. Huh?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
Yeah,
I can hear you.
yeah. What is version control system? What is source code management tool?
Version control.
Open source and source code is available.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Joshna, what you are telling?
I'm
It's
just
open
telling it's
source.
like it's a open source and source code is available.
Yeah, open source anyway, open source. So, but what is a version control or what is a source code management? So, source code management or a version control is a repository. So, or whatever the developers developing that code and push it to the repository. So, in this repository, so there will be a version, something like the future adding it and release it as a version, something like WhatsApp 1.0, WhatsApp 2.0, WhatsApp 3.0, WhatsApp 4.7. So the source code management tool is nothing but a source code. Whatever the developers developing that code, push it to the repository, keep it in the repository is nothing but a source code management tool. A source code management tool is nothing but a version control system. Version control system is it can be divided into two types. One is a CVCS and DVCS. So CVCS is nothing but a centralized version control system. DVCS is nothing but a distributed version control system. So what is that? Distributed version control system. And sorry. So this is the Git introductions. So this is Git cheat chat. So Git version, Git commit. I will tell you. I will tell you later this one. Yeah. So what are those? We have a two. One is so CVCS and DVCS. Guys, what is that? CVCS and DVCS. CVCS and DVCS. Yeah, ocean control system. Ocean control system. First one is a CVS, another one is DVCS. CVS is nothing but a centralized version control system. What is centralized version control system? What is distributed version control system? So centralized version control system, CSS, Log4j, JSVN. So these are the CVSs, centralized version control system. So CVS is having the few drawbacks. So that's the reason. So DVCS is invented. So what is CVCS? Something like a centralized version control system. Something like whatever. This is the SVN. For example, SVN. SVN is installed on the one server. SVN is installed on the one server. So this is a centralized server. This is a centralized server. Again, something like a developers. Again, developers develop the code and push it to the directly push it to the directly push it to the centralized version control system. So for example, if it's a crashes because of this is a server, right? This is a server and installed it will come up with the background hardware, something like hardware goes down or something like this server corrupted. So the entire code, entire whatever the code developer developed that code, something like for example from last 6 months they are developing with the new feature, new for the new website, for something like a facebook.com. So Facebook. So this entire code will be gone. So this is the 6 months. 3 people, 6 months. They created every code, and it will be crashed. It will be crashed. Something goes wrong on this centralized version control system. So something like there is no data available at any way. There is no data available at any way. At any way. So this is a big drawback. So that's the reason DVCS, distributed version control system, developed by the Linux. So what is the distributed version control system? So there is a local repository. There is a local repository, and there is a remote repository. What is that? A local repository, a remote repository. For example, this is the remote repository. So this is the remote repository. There is no local repository. If something goes wrong on the central server, it will be crashes everything. So, but in the distributed version control system, so there will be a concept of a local repository, and remote repository. So remote repository. So developer develop the code. First push it to the local repository. First, first push it to the local repository. Something like then remote repository. If something goes wrong on the local repository, there will be a remote repository. If something goes wrong on the remote repository, there will be a local repository. We can push it automatically from local to remote to local. So this is the distributed version control system. So this is the example. What is the example of a distributed version control system? Is Git. Git is a distributed version control system. Who developed this? Linus Torvald. So Linus Torvald developed this and released as a open source. And this is a CLI, released as a CLI, same like as a Linux commands. So this is also Git commands. What are the Git commands? Git released as a CLI and released as a open source. Open source. So companies took that source code. That source code. Atlassian, Microsoft. Before it is not Microsoft, but something like GitLab companies. So these companies are that took the source code and their created their own Git. So what is that Git? Atlassian. Atlassian. You guys heard about Jira? Jira, Jira ticketing tool, Salesforce ticketing tool. Just now, do you know Jira, something like Jira? So this is the
Yes, I
Jira.
heard about that, but I never used that Jira tool.
Yeah,
I
you
worked on
you heard
Service
about,
Now.
right? Something like Jira is the so something like it's like a ticketing tool, right? So same like as a so that company Atlassian company created a created their own Git. The Git name is called as a Bitbucket. That Git name is called that. So this is released as a GUI. Microsoft also Lab, GitHub, sorry, GitHub. This is also a GUI. So GitLab company also created GitLab. GitLab is the Git. This is also released as a GUI. So Git CLI and Git GUI. So we have a Git CLI also there, Git GUI also there. So these companies took the source code and created their own Git repositories, Git CLI, Git CLI. So this is a Bitbucket, this is a GitHub, this is a GitLab. Guys, tell me, what are those Git Atlassian created? Which Git? Guys, Atlassian
Bitbucket,
company took Bitbucket, then Microsoft.
GitHub.
Yeah, GitLab company. I don't know exactly who developed GitLab. Ukrainian developer, Demoto, Dutch developers. Yeah, brief history of a GitLab. This year we celebrate 10 years of GitLab, making this decade since from the first commit we made. Our focus on the community contribution remaining the strong, a varying degree of code contributions both entries, registered companies, GitLab company, grow 14,000 team members, 65 countries, regions, for data, to more than 16 collaborators with universities since the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah, some other guys, so created the GitLab, right, guys? So what are the three Git? So three Gits. One is a Bitbucket, another one GitHub, and GitLab. So some companies are using Bitbucket, some companies are using GitHub, some companies are using GitLab. So these are the remote repositories. So what are the remote repositories, guys? So these are the,
Bitbucket.
yes,
Yes.
Bitbucket,
GitHub. GitLab.
GitHub, GitLab. For example, many more are there. So these are the three examples: Bitbucket, GitHub, GitLab. So these are the remote repositories. So remote repositories, something like github.com. So this is my, yeah. So this is my GitHub account. This is my GitHub account, Git Learning, Certified Kubernetes Course, Hello World, Sample, DevOps. So I saved all my files into the GitHub repository. So this is the GitHub. So the same like as a Bitbucket also, Bitbucket. So Bitbucket also a remote repository. So this is provided by the Acclation company. This is also same like as a repository. So wherever developers develop that code and push it to the Bitbucket, push it to the GitHub and GitLab also. So this is the GitLab. I think I have it access. Let me click GitLab. Actually, currently I'm using in my company. I'm using the GitLab. Okay, so this is the GitLab. This symbol is the GitLab. So this symbol is for the GitHub. This symbol is for the Bitbucket. So both are these three are the operation core functionality is same. Core functionality is the same. So like whatever the local I will show it in the, yeah. So source code management. So the management of a changes of a documents or computer programs, large website and other collection of information will be stored under the source code management. So the management of a changes to the documents, computer programs, large website and other collection of information will be stored it in the source code management. Centralized version control system, distributed version control. The centralized version control system, there is only one repository, so other working copies. So they can be commit or update or commit. If something goes wrong, it will be crash everything. It will be crash everything. We cannot retrieve the data. So, but in the distributed cost version control system, there will be a two repositories. One is local repository, other one is remote repository. So in the working copy, there will be a local repository, the same like as a remote repository. This is a commit update. Then we can push it to the remote repository. So remote repositories are something like, so these are remote repositories. So this is the remote repository. Remote repositories are Bitbucket, GitHub, GitLab. Bitbucket, GitHub, GitLab. These three are the remote repositories. These three are the remote repositories. We can push the code from the local repository to remote repository. Push the code from the local repository to a remote repository. So something like this is the sample DevOps project. In the sample DevOps project, I copied entire this code from my local machine to in the remote repository. And if you want to download from here to local, so we can download this based on this code, something like here, right? So there will be a clone. So we can clone this, and we can download the code. So we can pull and push. Pull is nothing but a pull is not. So this is the pull. Pull is nothing but a download from remote repository to local repository. Push is nothing but a we can push from a local repository to remote repository. If something goes wrong on any one, either local repository or remote repository, there will be a copy of other repositories. So this is the distributed version control system. Distributed version control system. So something like a source code management or Git. Git is a distributed version control tool that supports distributed non-linear workflows by providing the data assurance for the developing of the quality software. So what are the commands are there in the Git? So something like a Git add, Git commit, Git checkout, Git merge, Git push, Git pull. Guys, tell me what are the commands, guys? So this entire area is nothing but a local repository. So this entire is nothing but a remote repository. Remote repository is nothing but a GitHub, Bitbucket, or GitLab. So you want to push the code from the a local repository to remote repository. There is a Git push. So you want to get the code from the remote repository to local repository, remote repository to local repository. There will be a Git pull. There will be a Git pull. So in the local repository, what are the commands we are using? Git add. Git add is nothing but something like you created a one file. You created something like hari.txt file. That file is a local file. So Git is not recognized that file. How the Git is recognizing? You can Git add from working directory to staging area and local repository. So something like so before it is a working directory. From working directory we want to go to the staging area, staging to local repository. Who knows Git? Yeah, this is the Git file. How do you know? So if you add the Git that file, something like hari.txt, Git add hari.txt, then it knows, oh, so this is the Git repository. This file is going to local repository. This file is storing to local repository. How we can store it to the local repository? So from working copy to staging area, there will be a Git add. From staging area to local repository, Git commit. Git commit. So these are the branches are there. This is the main branch, something like you can create different branches. So by using the Git checkout, and we can create the branches from the Git checkout. So Git checkout, Git merge, something like you have a two branches, something like one is a old, and another one is new. I want to merge the new code into the old one. I want to merge the new code into the old one by using the Git merge command. So yeah, so I have a local repository and I have a file sorry.txt. I want to push that. I want to send it to the remote repository. So how we can send it? So by using the git push command, it pushes from the local repository your laptop to remote repository. So and we want a something like Josna also working on the same team. Josna, Kim, you guys all are working on the same team. So something like so there is a five modules are there. Every module is giving it to the different people. For example, so Terraform Ansible, there is a Terraform and Ansible. So in the Terraform, there will be a three cloud environments are there. One is for AWS, one is Azure, one is the Oracle environment. You three are working on the three different environment. So something like so you created a three directories. One is Azure, one is AWS, one is the Oracle. You guys are working in our local environment. Push it to the remote repository. So something like Josna push it to the Oracle directory, and Sai push it to the AWS, and Kim push it to the Azure AWS to the remote repository. But Josna push it to the only AWS. Josna doesn't have the Azure and the Oracle. Somehow Josna want to work on the both those two, Azure and Oracle. So how she will get the code to your their local C local repository or local repository. So by using the git pull command. So whatever the three people are pushed to the remote repository, so you want to clone, you want to something like you want to pull the code that Azure and the Oracle code by using the git pull. It automatically pulls from the remote repository, whatever the code will be there. Again, so Josna is working on the Oracle as well as the Azure part and push it to the code they again to a remote repository. Something like so if you guys are something like Sai is not working on the AW something like Azure. So Josna taken care by the both the environments. Guys understood? Guys understood the commands git add, git commit, git checkout, git match. So these all commands on the in the local repository. So you want to push the code from the git from local repository to the remote repository, git push and git pull. Guys, please respond. Josna, Sai, hello,
Yes, yes,
able to understand?
yes.
Yeah, but can you get one more example? I'm kind of behind this.
Yeah. So this is the Hari Kim Josna. So Hari is working on the AWS. Kim is working on the Azure part, and Josna is working on the Oracle part. For example, so we three are working on the three different cloud environments. So finally, this is the this is our local repository. This is our local repository. This is our local repository. So something like in the remote repository. So this is the our local repository. This is the local repository. This is the local repository. This is the local. So you created a file, you created a directory, and you created the code. You created the code in the local repository. Something like, for example, this is our AWS first dot is first EC2 dot TF. For example, in the first EC2 dot TF, first EC2 first Azure dot TF, first Oracle dot TF. So they created that code. So something like so this is the working copy. Or you want to how the local repository recognizes git add first EC2 dot TF. So so before doesn't know git. So this is the first EC2 dot file. So how git recognizes if you add it from local to your local to so git add so git knows so this is the git file. It is coming from the working directory. So it is in the staging area. It is in the staging area. Git knows now this is the git file. Then uh, how we can push it to the local repository by using the git command. What is that command? Git commit. So first ec2.tf. This first ec2.tf, once you execute this command, so your file first.tf file is in the repository, local repository. Okay, so this is the local Git repository. This is the local Git repository knows. This is our first ec2.tf file. So git add git commit. So then you want to push the code. You want to send the code from your local repository to a remote repository. So because of you want to save the file in the repository. Yeah. So it will be copied. It will be copied the something like AWS is the repository. So in that AWS is a folder. There will be a something like a first ec2.tf file is there. We push it to the push it from push it from local repository to push it from local repository to local repository to remote repository. The same way, Kim also send a Azure file to the remote repository. The same way as a Josna also send the local repository to the remote repository. Now, so we have a three folders are there, three repositories. Folder is nothing but this is a repository. So AWS repository, Azure repository, the same like as a Oracle repository. Oracle repository. We have three repositories. So something like Josh Hari having only the AWS repository because of so Azure and Oracle. They both are Kim is only having the Azure in our local repository only Azure related information. Josna having only Oracle related information. This is only the Git push. So Git push and Git push. Somehow, something like I have a problem and I took 1 month leave, but AWS is urgent and someone look into this AWS project. For example, so our manager asked Kim to please check the AWS also. So again, so Kim wants that code. First, he wants to download the code from the AWS that remote repository, local repository. How he can download it from this local remote repository to local repository. So again, so he cloned the first time he will be cloning the code. Git clone get clone from his local repository. The name call it as a AWS also. AWS also. AWS also. Yeah. Now Kim pushed the Azure code and pulled something like the second time onwards git pull. So git pull. So whatever he pushes the code, so there will be available it for the remote repository, and whatever the code pushed to the Hari, so he wants that code. He wants that code. The first time he will be a good clone. Then he can use the git pull command. Git pull command whatever something like whatever he updated something like a Oracle also. He downloaded the Oracle code also. He get the code from the both three AWS, Azure, or Oracle. So something like he is working on the both AWS and Azure. You want to look into the Oracle code also. You want to look into your manager is asking to can you please check the code Oracle code for Josna is writing. He download he cloned from he cloned or he pulled the Oracle code Oracle code also. Again, something like a Josna writing second EC2.tf in local file and it push it to the remote repository. How you can get the code that updated code from a remote repository to local repository by using the git pull command. By using that git pull command, you want to verify that git pull command. Now you understood, guys.
Yes.
Now you understood, right?
So
Git.
my understanding is, let's say Harry, Kim, and Josna, we're working on the web development. So Harry working on HTML, Kim working on the CSS, and Josna working on the JavaScript.
Yes, yes.
So if Kim doing the CSS only, but the manager asking him to look at the HTML also. So Kim gonna go do the git clone from the remote repository,
Repository.
right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes, yes.
he's gonna git clone the HTML and then git pull to pull the HTML back to his computer, his local
Yes,
repository,
yes,
so he
yes,
can work
yes.
on that one. Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Got you right. So this is
Yeah.
in our local we are using git add, git commit, git checkout, git messages. But if you want to get it from the remote git pull, git push, I will give you another example also. I got the another example. So I will give you that another example, something like how we can. Yeah. So this is the remote repository. These guys are three are working on the same project. The project is something like WhatsApp. WhatsApp, you have a module something like so WhatsApp, WhatsApp, same like WhatsApp. Okay. So this is for only a chat module. So this is only for a status module. So he is working in the something like a status chat of contacts. So contact. These are the three modules they are working on. The three modules. Something like the project name is something like a WhatsApp. Okay. So the repository name is WhatsApp. So yeah. So whatever he created the code, he pushed it to this WhatsApp repository. Or whatever he created, it is a WhatsApp. So whatever he created, so he is WhatsApp. First, we created the repository in the remote repository. This is the remote repository WhatsApp web dot. Okay. So first time they are cloning with they have a in the WhatsApp having a three folders, chat, status, and contacts. The first time they are cloning. First time, how we can get from your remote repository to local repository, remote to local. So remote to local by using the first time git clone. What is that? Git clone. The first time is nothing but a git clone. Yeah. So they all are cloned from the WhatsApp. So something like in the WhatsApp, they're having the three folders. Three folders. Chat folder is there, status is there, contacts is there. Status is there, contacts is there, chat is there. Status is there, contacts is there, chat is there. But so he updated the code. So something like he updated the code and push it to the he updated the code in the local repository. So this is the local repository git add, git commit, then again git push. So it will push you to the from local to a remote repository. So the updated code is in the whatever the charts updated code will be there in the remote repository. But so these guys are also having the a chart repository, chart file, chart directory. But in the chart directory there is no code. But Hari already developed that code and pushed it to the WhatsApp remote repository. So how they can get so something like a Kim and Josna, how they can get updated code, whatever Hari updated the code to the remote repository, how they can get by using the git push. Git pull. So git pull, if you use the git pull, it get the code, whatever the Hari pushed the code, it get Kim get the code and Josna get the code by using the git pull command. So whatever they are creating in the status, they do the git push. Whatever he writed the code and they push it to the remote repository. Whatever the uh, Josna Josna and Hari created that code is available in the remote repository. So Kim wants to download in the local repository. How we can do it? Git pull. So git pull. So So for example, if they want to push the code from the, for example, this is the local repository. For example, this is the main repository. What is this? Main repository. So this is the main repository. So main repository already having the code. Already having the code. So something like, for example, Hari write the code. That code is not a good or a correct code. So he's directly pushed to the main repository. Definitely there will be a chance to corrupt the main repository. Corrupt the main repository. So someone needs to review the code and approve the approve the code. So something like this is a merge request. This is a merge request. Or what is a merge request? So something like I created a directory as a chart, but the created a new new branch. Created a new branch. So for example, this is the branch. So I created a new branch and the branch name is something like a new feature, something like a new is the branch. He created a new branch and developed the code and created a MR. Created a MR. MR means merge request. MR means a merge request. Merge request. This is the merge, right? So he created a new branch and developed the code, and whatever he developed the code wants to go to the main repository. So before that, someone will be reviewed. This is the reviewed. Someone will be reviewed and merged the request because of, so we doesn't know, right? So that code is a good code or not. So he is writing a good business code or not. So definitely, so so if you say, if you push that directly main, it will be definitely, it will be crashes. So that's the reason someone will review that code. So for example, Hari is your manager. So you raise a request, a merge request. You created a new branch and create a merge request from new branch to main branch. So and you are asking a reviewer, then approve the merge request. Hari is the reviewer. Hari verified our changes in the new branch. Then he merges the he merges the code from the new branch to the main branch. He merges the code from the once he reviewed the code and then he merged the code. Guys, understood? This is nothing but a git merge. Git merge. So git checkout. So he downloaded the code and the repository is the main repository. But so he don't want to disturb the main repository code. He created a new repository called as a new. The repository name is he created a new branch called as a. So this is the entire code will be there in the main branch. Sorry guys, the entire code will be there in the main branch. He want to he want to disturb. He don't want to disturb the main branch code. He want to create a new branch and created the new code and asked to create a merge request and reviewed it. If it is okay, then merge it to the main branch. Merge it to the main branch. This is that's way we are using the git checkout and git merge. So in real time, you guys. So when we are practicing, you guys are understood thoroughly. Okay, guys, understood, right?
Yes.
Jyoshna, Sai, you guys are. So local repository, we are using the git add, git commit, git checkout, git merge. So if you want to push the code from the local repository to remote repository, there will be two commands. Three commands are also there. So the first time, guys, what we will do? The first
Git
time
clone.
cloning from, yeah, first time getting the code from the a remote repository to a local repository. What is the command, guys? Git,
Git clone.
yes, git clone. So whatever the code, something like this is a WhatsApp. WhatsApp WhatsApp is the a repository. So you can get the WhatsApp repository from, you can use the git clone. It will get the local repository, that WhatsApp WhatsApp code. So once you create a new code and same like as git add, git commit, then push it to push pull. So this is the way we can use that git repository, guys. Understood, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So tomorrow I will show you how to install the Git on your local machines and some of the useful commands in the Git.
Okay.
What is a Git?
Thank you.
Git is a distributed version control system and source code management system with emphasis of a handle small and a large project with the speed and the efficiency. So speed and the efficiency. So what is a Git repository? A repository contains a directory name Git where it keeps all of its metadata of the repository. The content of the .git directory is the private Git directory. No need, guys, this one. So I will show you other thing. This is the comments. Yeah. So after installing the Git, how we can check the version? Git hyphen version. It shows the version of the Git installed on our machine. Git init. It will initialize the project folder into the Git repository. Git status. It is a simple terms. So guys, will show you tomorrow. Okay, git add, git diff, git commit, git push, git pull, git log, git branch, git branch hyphen a, git branch, git checkout, git stash, git remote hyphen v. We'll show you tomorrow.